just wrecked my whole body.
Wow.
I was in the hospital
For 3 days.
3 days, and then they put me in rehab. I've been there for 7 weeks. And I just got back to Sharon's just a week ago, hasn't it?
No, you've been here for
Or
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And now then this morning I go, this thing I was going to turn it,
Mm-hmm.
and so I could walk out and have Sharon. I can't even remember what I wanted then. But anyway, I just lost my balance when I twisted. I can't twist or move on those things. But, well, I'm 98 in May.
Yes, you are. That's amazing
That's
to
a
me.
milestone.
Can't believe that I'm still here. I said, what in the world has the Lord got in mind for me?
What is wrong?
She wants to go up there and see her mom and dad, don't you?
Well, yes.
Well, sure.
Oh, I
Everyone,
should
you just want to
say.
see everybody.
It'd be wonderful.
Just,
And,
Oh,
yeah, I know that.
except for, now you got me
He says-
curious.
I've been teasing her for 20 years now.
See, Walt, before they left on their mission, they were twins, and the one twin married and one girl of another twin.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Walt started dating the other twins, so they were twin and twins. Right, and I guess they went together for quite a while, and I guess they sort of figured, that they'd get together when he got home. Well, while he was on his mission, she got pregnant, and so that ended everything. And so Walt then his companion and his wife called us both one Sunday up for dinner, and then they were in the millennial course, and they traveled to the different wards around, and he asked if I would like to go with him, and I said yes. And so then that started it, and we were going, but she died before Walt, and now Walt's up there alone. All of his children, his brothers and sisters, they're all up there with their
There's spouses.
Spouses, yeah.
I can't even think. But except Walt. And so he has got, Wade, he's having a good time up there with Vida. He's not worried about you coming up. He's cheating me for so long, he's got me worried about
No wonder they kept you here.
Yeah, I guess they didn't want me up there. They're having a home, so I guess I'll just stay. I don't know for how long. It's
The Lord's
terrible.
keeping her here because she's done something, and you always have to do something to straighten your life out before he'll take you.
You have to learn something.
She's got to repent, and I keep saying, what is it you got to repent of? Because he's going to keep you here another few years.
Boy, I don't know. I don't know what in the world.
Maybe, but now you're so close, you need to stick around for 100.
Well,
You know, you're so close.
I know.
all of them. My bishop says, boy, when you get 100, we're going to have a great big party.
There you go.
But, I just
But you're not in for
think,
that, huh?
well, maybe I would, I've been really healthy, quite healthy. And I just thought, my gosh, here I am. And that was about 96 or so. And I thought, I guess maybe that I am to stay here because I felt so good. But after these falls, that's really
This
take
is a bad fall. She had 3 falls within a month.
Yeah.
And the first one, she was undressing and she leaned over to take her blouse off her head, and she
just
lost
kept
her
going.
balance and fell forward and hit the heat vent on the floor. And she had, what, about 4 stitches in your nose. And then a couple of weeks after that, I was down there. I was working on some of her paperwork, and she went out into the garage, she did things like that all the time. Well, she lost her balance out in the garage, and as she fell down, she grabbed a hold of the shelf, metal shelf that's in there, pulled that down on top of her, and there she was, laying on the cold floor with this metal shelf on top of her, with fake flowers all over the place, and ceramics that she had out there were all broken, and dirt all over her. She was covered in dirt.
Oh my gosh.
And I managed to get her up. I'm still not quite sure how we did that, but we got her up,
I don't know either.
and she said she felt fine. Didn't hurt or anything.
Mm.
And then it was just about 2 weeks later that she rolled out of bed. And
I don't know what's the matter with me. I'm not
We're just gonna
drunk.
have to tape you to the chairs.
I can't
Or to
figure
your
it.
bed.
Why in the world I'm falling so much?
Oh my
Maybe
Get in
I'm
with
trying
her.
to get rid of myself so I can get up there and see if he's having fun with Biden.
I'm really trying here, and it's not
You gotta be
working.
careful with her because she's sitting here just yesterday, and we had to make appointments for the doctors. They wanted to go to a cardiologist and listen to her heart and then get some heart work done. She says, "What do I want to go do that for? You know, why can't I just have a heart attack and die?" Because her mother had a heart attack and died. I
Right.
guess her dad had a heart attack and died.
And then,
So she's saying, "Why can't I?"
well,
And I
Dad,
told her because
Dad
she's
had
got to
his
pay
heart
us something.
attack.
I know.
She's had her heart attack
You had a heart attack? When?
about 6 years,
4 years ago.
Is
4 years
that
ago, I had a
right?
heart attack and just had a stent.
running in the family.
So it runs in the family, yeah. In the middle of the night, woke up and ended up in the ER. So
Just really bad pain.
just bad
huh?
chest pains and couldn't breathe.
How did you feel?
Huh? How did I feel? She wants to know. I don't know because I just couldn't breathe.
She just wants to know if she's having a heart attack, and she's not going to tell anybody.
Yeah, just you get short of breath and you can't walk or anything, and you have chest pain. A little bit of pain
You
down your
probably
arm.
feel
It's so
pressure
different
in your
for women
chest.
than men. It really is. So yeah, they put in a stent and it was 100% block. My aortic valve.
Wow.
So he said I was lucky to be alive.
Oh my goodness.
You ever sit back and say, "Why didn't they go? Why am I messing around?"
Yeah, no, I
She's
just
not
think
ready.
I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I still have too much to do.
So just tell us about your childhood. What you remember.
Well, we had a wonderful family. My folks were so in love and so kind to us that we had such a happy life at home. And my dad and mother, they loved to camp, and so they took us camping a lot. And then they would take us every Saturday on the train out to
Lagoon.
not Lagoon,
All there.
and
Saltaire.
Saltaire.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd stay there the night, and we had so much fun there. And that was every Saturday that we had that. And then my dad, oh gosh, I can't remember a lot of it. We just played games and we had a piano that they bought, and we took lessons. And Ernest was he was small, and he one day took the hammer or something to the piano and hammered it and hammered it. When my mother got there and found it, oh, she just had a fit because that was her favorite beautiful. And I think I took it after I got married. I took the piano, I don't know. I mean, after they died, I guess. But I had a lot of, just a loving family. And we traveled all over. We'd go down to St. George and that. My dad would go in the car and travel. But he never would teach us how to drive. And I don't know how Ernest learned, or my sister Vera. I think her husband taught her. And so then Walt, he would turn, they asked him to be bishop of the ward. And one day he said to me, you know, I'm going to be busy. And this is the time that you should learn to play or to drive a car. And so he would take me, he'd do some of his work. He worked for the church all the time. And they had a building out on 21st South. No, it was...
Street of Chevrolet.
Well, yeah, he worked there for a while.
And-
But this, I think, after the church, that he had this job on, I don't know whether it was 21st South, I think it was. And so we'd drive out there, and he'd do some of his work. Well, he made me drive then out to his work and back. That was the way I learned. And boy, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Oh, now I can't, well, I gave it up about
When you're 92.
Oh my
it'll
gosh.
be 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I couldn't drive, and but it was hard when Mother and Dad both died. It was real hard to lose them, and yeah, but then I had a happy married life, a wonderful husband, and wonderful children. And I wish I could have had more. I wanted more children, but I never could get any more. But we had a wonderful life, and we did a lot of traveling and all over. And but it's been hard since he's been gone. Gosh, how long has that been? I've been alone.
2003, 2000.
About 14. He died in 2002.
Okay,
So
yeah, that's right.
about 15 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. That was it.
Yeah.
And so I've lived alone, taking care of my place. Of course, she was a big help. My gosh. I don't know what I would have done without Sharon. And David, on his days off, he comes and we go have something to eat. And then he takes me to the grocery store to get what groceries I needed. And then we go for a ride. And so that was nice. And we could visit and back and forth. But boy, when this hit, the word would say to her, is your mother still alone taking care of herself? But yeah, I feel good, and I could do it. And then I sure don't feel anything like that now. My gosh. And here I have to live with her, have her do all the things that I should really do for myself. But I appreciate these two have been wonderful to me. And I just hope I don't cause them a lot of problems or
No, never.
upset.
You're an angel.
awesome.
That's right.
That's right.
Gosh.
Maybe that's why he hasn't taken me up there. I'm an angel already. So why go up there?
Maybe you'll have to stay here and help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the ones that have to repent.
They're-
I'd go to church, and sometimes I'd sit between the two of them. And it took me, 5-6 years to convince her to quit dyeing her hair. And she just let it come in natural because it's pretty.
It is pretty.
And now the bishop would walk up and, who's this devil sitting between two angels? or another comment like that. What did he say when Sherry was with you? Do you
Oh,
remember?
golly, I can't remember.
It was
cute.
something similar, but it's the same thing.
But when
Grandma,
he asked me all the time to quit dyeing my hair. Well, then they invited me to go to Alaska with them. And so we took a trip up there, and I thought, well, now is the time I've got to go white. I have no way of finding people that would do that. And so, but it's been a blessing, really. Of course, I look a lot older, but then,
They call us sisters because I'm white too.
they can't get over that. She's my daughter, you know.
Uh-huh.
But
Wow.
I know, I look so old.
Grandma, tell them about our trip. You and Walt and Sharon and I when we went to Yosemite. Remember? Do you remember that?
yeah, but
When we went up to California, we went up through the parks and then
Oh.
we come back down the other side. And do you remember what was in the pasture out there?
oh yeah.
They had a herd of llamas.
Oh, that's right.
And I pointed out, and I
Llamas.
said, there they are, they're llamas. And she says, yes. And she says, when they open their tails, they're a big fan, they're so beautiful. She was thinking peacocks.
I was thinking it was a peacock all the time. And even now, if I see a llama out in the field, I think, oh, you're a peacock.
So tell us more about your life with your parents and your grandparents. We don't know much about the grandparents. So Jonathan and Sarah, tell
Well,
me what you remember of them.
I know that I think it was Wednesday night, Friday night, that we went over to Grandma and Grandma and then she'd give us dinner, and then we'd sit around there and have fun. And we did that when we were real small children. But she never let us ever go in her front room. That was off. And it just hurt us so bad, because why wouldn't we be able to go in there? And we never did until, just a while before she died. I don't know what we were doing, but she let us go in there. Here all my life, hadn't had a chance. to that house. But, well, like I said, we went to Salt Air, and we'd go over to their place and play games. And Grandpa was great doing things like that. But I can't remember too many things.
You used to go hunting with Grandpa with your dog.
Yes, we did. We would, he would shoot these birds, or seagulls.
Yeah. Not
And-
seagulls.
28 shotgun pheasants.
Probably pheasants, yeah.
Pheasant hunting.
Yeah, pheasant. And so he'd get a boat, and we'd go out there with him, and we'd sit and watch him hunt for these. And he had this beautiful dog called, now, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't remember that. But this beautiful dog. And then after he'd shoot one, the dog would jump out and go over and pick it up and bring it back to the boat.
That's ducks.
And
That's ducks, yeah.
so we had a lot of fun that way. And, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't remember much else. My mind is gone.
Let's see, how come mine keeps stopping and yours doesn't? Anyway, let me think, what else? Remember your blackboard in your kitchen that you used to,
Oh, yeah. We never had a fireplace. And so at Christmas time, my mother would let Vera and I write across on the blackboard in the kitchen, Merry Christmas, and then we'd write different things on it. And that was, oh, we did it there all the years, 2 years until we left. We'd go and have that on that fireplace. And when I mention it to some people, they say, oh, you did that on a blackboard at Christmas time? But it was fun, and at least we were doing something to bring the Christmas spirit out. But
and when she was a teenager, she loved to play baseball with all the guys in the neighborhood. She was
Yeah.
the only
Oh, was
girl.
that right?
Yeah.
yeah, and we'd go in back of our house, and this fellow would come, and I don't know who the other girl was, but there was,
Oh, I thought you were the only girl.
oh, that's right. But some of the other boys came, and I was the only girl. And I played baseball with them for a long time.
So, Beck, can you tell me about my dad, Ernest? What do you remember about your brother?
Well, he was right with us, and we had fun with him.
Tell me some stories about Ernest.
Gee, I can't remember.
So, did you guys take care of him when he was a baby?
Yes, we did. We would take him in the carriage and take walks with him, and then we played games out in the backyard. And I wish I could remember.
Did he ever try to catch the goldfish in Grandpa's fishing pond?
Yeah, my dad built this beautiful, well, it was a wall out in his backyard there on Main Street, and then he built this pond in there, and he'd have little fish in there, and I think Ernest, he wanted one of those fish so bad, but he couldn't catch one. And then I think either we were able to get a hold of one, so we gave it to Ernest. But, oh, he was a good kid. I'll tell you, we sure loved him. But when he pounded on that piano, that was really a shock to all of us.
Us too.
But
Us too. We didn't know about that.
Goodness gracious. Talk about aggression.
He's up there repenting of his hammer.
yeah, that's probably it.
It's either that corner or that corner. There's a little saw mark on the table. Right on the edge. One of the kids stuck it.
What?
Did the little saw thing on it?
It's on there somewhere.
What is it?
A little saw mark. Kid took a bread knife and
He just sitting there was trying to
Oh.
saw the table once.
cut the corner.
I see.
Yours keeps going, Stan.
I don't know. It still is. So
Okay,
tell me
it's gonna
about
be
Vera.
awful.
How did you and Vera get along?
Oh, we had our little fights and that, but we were very close, and we did a lot of things after she got married, and I'd go up to their place and then, but Vera and I were really close, and I can't remember really things. You got me at a wrong time.
You must have gone shopping a lot.
Tell me about Nebraska.
Vera loved shopping.
When you guys moved to Nebraska, what happened?
Well, you mean,
No, Vera.
Vera now.
Vera now went to Nebraska, but you went too, didn't you?
I don't.
Or was
Well,
Walt up there by
yes.
himself?
yeah, we did.
Did y'all know?
We went there. Walt got a job, I think it was.
He was Uncle Al's
Oh,
accountant for
yes.
the grocery stores.
Yeah, he was. He got this grocery store, and Walt would be do all the book work, keeping the books on it. And then, oh dear.
So do you remember it, Sharon?
Well, I remember my part of it. we stayed, I was just like 2 or 3 years old at the time, and Gordy and I one day, we decided to climb the big water tower in the park, not too far away from our house, and we climbed up about part way and then realized we didn't know how to get back down, and so they had to call the fire department to come get us, and that was kind of traumatic. But other than that, that's about, and I've just been told that story, so that's how I remember that. But other than that, I don't remember a whole lot. Just that,
Wasn't that the marble time?
no, that was up in Garland. I know they had their church was in a building. Was that the one where they had to clean up the cigarettes?
library building, and we'd have to go in there and clean it up for meeting the next day. And so we did that, and then Walt, let's see, what was it? He then was called, got a job here, and this friend gave him a job. Can't remember, it was keeping books for him. And then he went to the Chevrolet office and did books for them. And then he went to the church offices and was there for 19 or 20 years, I guess.
When did he go for the Stoker Company? They did the furnaces.
that was,
That was when the first part of your marriage, I think.
That
Yeah,
was, that was
thanks.
before he had the church job.
mm-hmm.
Les Olson?
No, not Les Olson.
It wasn't Les Olson, but
Curtis.
Curtis Stoker.
Yeah, Curtis. Yeah, we did. That was his first job because we lived right close by them, and they knew him at church, and so that was his first job on the Stover
Curtis Company.
Curtis company.
Yeah.
So where did you live at that time?
We lived on in the Sugar House. What was the name of the street?
Was it Ramona or Redondo?
Yeah, I think it was Ramona. It was just off of 21st South. And we lived there for a long time. And then Walt was called to be a bishop of the ward. And that was a wonderful experience for him and for me. But one Monday night after their meetings, he was walking home and singing, what was that song now? Something about be happy, be happy. And he was just singing that all the way home on the street. And one day the neighbor heard him, and she told me about it, and I never knew anything about it. And she said how much that made her happy. She said, I just was so happy to hear that. And he was a wonderful bishop. But then, let's see.
How many years did you live on 21st South? Do you remember?
Gee,
Probably about 20 years.
about that.
Yeah.
About 20 years or so. And then when that was, no, we went with Jerry and
Well, you went to Nebraska when I was young, and then we moved back when I was 5 and lived on 21st South until, and so it was about 20 years that you were there.
And you know, when the war was on at that time with Nebraska, and on the way home, we'd travel home, and this friend of ours had a gas station, and so he'd fill 2 large tanks with gas, and we had that in the trunk of the car. When I think of it now, I can't believe it. But that was the way we were able to come to Salt Lake to visit. Well, one day we were coming down 21st South, and I said, Walt, stop. There's Daddy and Uncle Jack building that house there. And so he stopped. We went in to see him and visit. And he was a wonderful bricklayer, my dad was. Well, all 3 of the boys were wonderful. And when we stopped, and the one fellow said, you should buy this house. And we said, oh, we couldn't. That isn't able, we're not able to. Well, soon after, he said, I'll help you. You take because we had saved money in Nebraska when we got home, we could have a down payment on a house. And so he said that he would, no, let's see, was it him or, anyway, he was able to get us the place on 21st South with a down payment that we had. And that's how we got that.
Do you remember how much it cost?
No, I don't remember. I think it was about 8,000. I think it was about 8,000. But we lived there a long time and enjoyed the house that Daddy and Ernest, was it Ernest, that helped him build it. And then that's when we had to, we both got to the point, we had a large backyard and we couldn't take care of it because we'd have a garden of everything in the back there, garden, vegetables, and so we both thought maybe we had better retire. And so we both retired. I took early retirement. We both retired the same day. And it was wonderful because then we could go and do things together. It wasn't too many years after that Walt died. And so, let's see, was that, well, we moved to condo, like, up in, let's see, where was that?
Monte Carlo.
In Monte Carlo, yes, just off of 62nd South and up, and it was called Monte Carlo. And I gave him the idea of the Monte Carlo, and then they had it painted black in there. So now when we go down to see my old place, I look up there and think, oh, I had something to do with that Monte Carlo. But we enjoyed that place, and we bought a trailer, and just in back of our place, it was a big place open for parking, and so they let us park our trailer right. We opened a gate there, and we could go out on the gate just a little ways into the trailer. And I think we had every kind of a trailer and motorhome and
What about the dune buggy?
Gosh, they had to.
yeah.
Tell us about the dune
They had the
buggy.
little Jeep.
Oh gosh. Well, Ernest is the one that started that, I think. He got his.
Dad
I think it was him.
got the dune buggy.
Or was it Bill?
No, it was
It was
Ernest.
I
Ernest.
think it was
Ernest.
Ernest.
It was Dad.
But we got ours before you got yours. Because I won a contest and I won a motorcycle or something.
Vespa scooter.
A Vespa scooter. I would like it now.
Oh
But-
yeah.
But I didn't want it, so we traded it in on a dune buggy. And Daddy loved our dune buggy, and so we found one for him, and then Ernie got one. And so
And then Bill got one. And then Walt got one. And we traveled together lots of times.
You know the ones I mean, the one with Grandma and Grandma.
And
And you.
we had more fun with that dune buggy. And we go to church
Was the oddest thing.
in
Church in the dune buggy?
yeah, we went to church in the dune buggy one time, and we had to step over into it to get in, and there we were with our dresses trying to step over that thing. And when we got in the dune buggy, here comes some boys along here, and they laughed. They said, we never saw anything that was so funny as you kids kind of get into that dune buggy. So we quit doing that. We didn't do any more at church, but we sure did have fun with a lot of trips. And we got a picture. I think she's going to get.
What about the motorbikes? The Honda 90.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, they decided to get the I guess that was Ernest, wasn't it? Started that. And
started a lot of things. Oh, tell us about it.
so they got these guns, and
Oh no.
That's not the one I was talking
I
about.
don't know where the other one is.
It's in the fruit room right now.
That
I
just
think-
looks like our razors today.
I think I have one at home. But they got these guns, and then they go out up and practice shooting them. And I don't know, what else did they do? Do you remember your dad saying anything about that?
About the guns?
About the guns? I don't
Well,
remember.
they had it was like pistols, weren't they? Or I know Grandpa Coleby had a pistol. I remember that. And
Yeah, you
when
slept
they,
with it.
yeah, and remember when you cleaned out the house after Grandpa Coleby died, that they didn't know there was a bullet in the gun, and they shot it through the ceiling. Do you remember that?
That was when they lived on 21st South. Before Mother and Dad died. And he had taken his guns and put it up on a shelf in the closet right next to the bathroom. And so after he died and we were cleaning the place out, I happened to reach up in there and I said, what's that? Feels like a gun or something. And so Ernest got up in there, or up high enough, he pulled it out and there was the gun. And my dad, after Mother died, he stayed a while in his place there on Main Street. And he locked that house. He had brooms standing up against the window, even though it was locked. He had his gun under his pillow. And I tell you, he locked everything. Nobody could get in there. And I've sort of gone like that, because I have to have my place all locked. They say nobody's ever going to get in your place. but then the one day he had a broom and something else in those windows. And this lady came, it was to get something, and she knocked, but nobody answered. She knocked on the window of their bedroom there. And when she came in and saw that all the things that he had to keep that place safe, like I say, brooms and knives and things, and the gun in there, boy, that was really something.
Who's trying to get in?
But
Remember how Grandpa used to bathe in baby powder? His bedroom was so full of powder.
Oh, yes.
Remember the tuck.
when he would bathe,
Yeah.
He would shave and then talcum powder.
he had powder all over, and the whole bedroom was just nothing but powder, you couldn't even get in there.
He always smelled really good.
Oh dear.
Didn't Grandpa do the brickwork on the back end of your garage on 21st
Yes,
South? Walt had bought a Cadillac, and the Cadillac was too
Didn't
long.
fit.
So we went up about 3.5 feet, knocked
Opened
the
it
back
up.
wall out, and extended it.
Cadillac just
Built
did
those
it.
Little doghouse on the back of
in
it.
the back. Yeah,
Well, they did that to Dad's garage. Remember, he built the garage for the trailer, and then
Oh,
it
that's
wasn't
right.
big enough,
It
so
wasn't
then they
big
had
enough.
to add another
They had to
6,
in
8
front,
feet in the
in
front
front.
and move the door forward
And
and
raise
make it
the
higher.
yeah.
Yeah, Grandpa helped
right.
on that.
Well, was it like before or after they built the round back, you know? where you-
Yeah.
Yeah, so was that garage in the back.
Yeah, it was in the back, yeah.
They have since split that lot, so the garage is in one property and the house is in another.
Yeah, I remember your dad getting after me because I was down at Dale, my
Yeah,
house,
your next door
yeah.
neighbor.
and we arranged. Well, we were married at the time, but Dale didn't want to put a garden in, so there was 3 of my friends that said, "We'll put a garden in," and he had to go get the at the right time for the water irrigation turn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing
Come
those.
down there.
Get the gate.
If he didn't get it just right, it would go over and just flood into his place. You guys, make sure you get this thing right.
Sounds like Dad.
Well, I don't know.
You've had a great life, I'll tell you.
It's
been
been
fun,
a
I'll
wonderful
bet.
life, a
All those
fun,
years.
full life
Mm-hmm.
with sweeter parents there ever was, and they treated us children so good, and I hope they're just up there on a beautiful place. They earned it.
Looks like Arizona.
So, just for the record, state your name and your birth date.
I'm Emily Ruth Coleby. This is awful.
But we all do it.
Woffinden. And my birthday is May the 10th, 1919.
And what was Walt's full name and birth date?
And whom?
Walt's full name and birth date.
Oh, Walter Denton Woffinden. It's February 18th. I don't know what year.
1915.
Yeah, 1915.
And when were you married?
We were married
September 14th.
in
1940.
1940. September.
And how many kids did you have?
We had 2. We had Sharon, and then I couldn't have any for a while, and we were able to take a baby at the hospital. Our doctor told us about it, and we were able to adopt him, and he's been a blessing to us. He's had some little things go wrong, but not bad. But he is now, was smoking, and but I don't think he wasn't drinking anything. But the boys, even in the ward there, got him smoking. And he quit a number of years ago. He has absolutely nothing to do with it. And
And what's his birth date?
it's
May,
February the 18th.
no, May 3rd. May 3rd.
His birthday?
Uh-huh.
No, it was February the 18th.
That's your dad. That's your husband.
That's Walt's.
Oh,
February
yeah,
18th.
February 18th. Now, who did you meet?
David.
Your
Oh,
son.
David
What's his birthday?
is,
May 3rd, but I can't remember the
yeah,
year.
May 3rd.
It must have been 1952.
I was gonna say it's not 52.
1952.
And then what was Sharon's name, full name, and her birthday?
Sharon, Coleby,
No,
you didn't have, we
I don't
didn't,
have a
you
middle name.
didn't have a middle name.
Just Sharon Woffinden.
Sharon Woffinden. And her birthday is,
July 7th,
yeah, July the 7th,
1941.
1941.
Full name is Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon Woffinden Gregory now. Yeah.
That's correct.
Well,
That's awesome.
So the date
That's awesome.
today is, it's
March 30th.
March 30th, 19,
No, 20.
2017.
Boy, we're really bad at this. I thought he was gonna
Well,
say
one last thing, Grandma.
1917.
Do you remember when you and Walt, we went for a ride and we had to go out on Hamburger Highway?
Bangor, yeah, we went on
Hamburger Highway.
Bangor, Bangor, Bangor,
Bangor? Bang?
Bangor.
No.
Bang.
It's called Hamburger Highway. That was shortly after we went up there and she seen the llamas with the big,
With the big fanning the llamas
This is
that are in
Bangor.
peacock colors.
Oh, I was teased about that.
You probably will be for a very long
I
time.
am,
Who would tease you over that?
you, David,
So,
Gregory.
do you have a last message to all your grandkids and posterity to come? All the kids and people that are related to you in the future. What would you tell them?
To live a good, clean, happy life, and that they were wonderful children, grandchildren, and that to me, and I worshiped each one of them, and I am happy that I was able to have such wonderful children and grandchildren. It's meant everything to me.
How many grandchildren and great grandchildren?
What?
How many children or grandchildren do you have?
Grandchildren.
About
Grandchildren?
18, isn't it?
18
No,
grandchildren?
you've got about 9 grandchildren. No,
It was 14.
That's
Gosh,
great
those
grandchildren.
kids.
yeah, I don't remember how many David has. 14 grandchildren, great grandchildren from us. And then,
And David had 4. She was married before David, and she had the 4 children. But they never had any children after they were married.
but he had children with his first wife, had 2.
Yeah, he
Kim
had
and Nicole.
2 with his first wife, born a girl. And
So 16 probably no.
20 if you count Denise's 4. So
Uh-huh.
20 great grandchildren.
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And they're wonderful.
Wow. That's a lot. Good posterity.
Yes.
Good posterity.
Great posterity that
Yeah.
you've had.
So we-
Your children and
Yeah, I really have. I just feel very blessed to think I was able to have a family like I had.
absolutely.
That's it,
Yes,
yeah.
you need your water back, sorry.
Okay.